Public Information Officer with Ascension Parish Government, and I'm very pleased and excited to be here today to tell you about a great new partnership that Ascension Parish has entered into, and I think it's one that's going to make things a whole lot better. Joining us today is Madeline Duran. She is the Investor Relations Manager with a company called CivicSource.
Yes.
And also is Miss Allison Kelly. She is the Account Manager, and she is the point of contact with CivicSource. So thank you, ladies, both of you, for being here. So CivicSource and Ascension Parish are going to be working together to take care of adjudicated properties. What is adjudicated property?
That's right. And before we get into that, Martin, I just want to give you special thanks for having us today and all your production folks here at Ascension 21, including the parish president, Kenny Matassa, for making this all possible. So
the parish president, will throw in a plug for him. He is looking for ways to make improvements in the parish, and one of the things he discovered is we have a lot of adjudicated property here, and what can we do about this? And coincidentally met your organization at one of the different political events, and the rest is soon to be history.
That's right. That's right. And really our partnership began back in September of last year, and CivicSource, and for those of you that aren't aware, and we'll get into that loaded term of what adjudicated means, we're the leading auctioneer of tax distressed real estate. So here in Louisiana, across different parishes and municipalities, we're really helping government to do all the due process legal compliance work that's necessary to take these tax delinquent properties to auction. So we have a website, CivicSource.com, where these auctions are taking place. And these adjudicated properties that we're talking about today are properties that failed to sell at a previous tax sale, what's known as a tax certificate sale here in Louisiana. So that's a little different than what we're talking about today, but it's important for people to know exactly, why it is that these sales occur.
So a tax sale is, there is property there, whether it's undeveloped or developed, or there's a house on it, or whatever, and taxes have not been paid upon this property.
That's right.
And so the sheriff in each parish has the legal authority to seize that property and then turn around and sell it at a sheriff sale or at a tax sale to the highest bidder. The money goes, any money that is received satisfies the debt, the tax debt.
Right. So somewhere along those lines, actually, in Louisiana, the way that you win at auction, it's based upon a percentage system, the lowest percent that you're willing to accept. But I know that can be a little confusing, but basically what it is that government has to have a way to recoup these funds, right? There's so much money that is going to be at stake when property owners are not paying their taxes. So they offer up the taxes, as you mentioned, the delinquent taxes owed, plus any costs and penalties accrued to an investor who's willing to pay for that and make 5% penalty plus 1% a month in the 3 years that the delinquent taxpayer has to pay them back. So that's known as a redemption period in Louisiana. So remember, this is all happening beforehand, and at the end, if that delinquent taxpayer does not come and pay back all of that amount, that delinquency owed, then that investor gets full ownership at whatever the percentage was that they bid at auction.
How many properties, I guess you've been looking at it, how many in Ascension Parish do we have like that? And I guess they're all different, but let's say number of parcels.
Yeah, sure. So there's plenty of properties. We currently have how many, Allison, on the website?
There's 73 on our website.
73 just on the website?
Yes. We listed those in March of this year, and they've actually already received 20 deposits on those.
And we'll get into that. That's the adjudicated properties that we were talking about. So we just described the tax certificate sale. Now, any properties that fail to sell at a tax certificate sale, right, that becomes adjudicated, which means that the parish, right, in this case, has a responsibility of maintaining these properties. These are those blighted properties that we see in the community that attribute to crime, right? It's our taxpayer dollars that are going to maintaining this, all of those grass liens on there. Perhaps it's, a property that needs to be demolished and such. So really what that does is it's depreciating, right, local property values for folks. And our main goal with CivicSource is to help government through our technology to get this back into commerce, these properties, right? Give them new life, right? Allow folks to be able to go to a bank through the title insurance that comes with these and actually secure some financing. So all of these properties that we're talking about now are those that failed to sell at a previous tax sale, tax delinquent, at least 5 years. And when you purchase them through CivicSource through our auction process, they're going to come with clear title. and title insurance.
That was going to be one of my questions, because obviously there would be problems there, but these have been adjudicated, which means by a judge. So the judge bangs the.
Article 7, Section 1, Louisiana Constitution, which is the authority by which each and every single elected official here in the territory of New Orleans, Louisiana, is supposed to abide by. This is a part of the contract, or this is the contract between we, the people, and them. Who is them? Government. This is the contract. This is what lays out all the duties and requirements for them. Again, who is them? Government. By signing this contract, they now have a fiduciary duty to we the people. Okay? And all of them did. According to Article 10 of the contract, Article 10, Section 30 of the contract, all of them are required, all of them who? Politicians in the territory of New Orleans, Louisiana. What we have here, look, this is no time to be tiptoeing around nobody or around the issue. This is serious business. And for those of you who don't recognize the fact that this is serious business, well, sorry for you. Them, in the territory of Louisiana, what we have is politician with politics. We don't have elected officials here in this territory. We don't have no one who is out there exercising our will. These people are not elected officials. We put into office elected officials. And who are elected officials? Elected officials are people who we put to work on our behalf, who will follow the rule of law, the Constitution, and abide by the oath of office. Those people are elected officials. But what we have here is politicians. Who are politicians? For those of you who haven't been tuned into this program for those of you who tune into the program for the first time, who are politicians? Our definition of a politician is someone that will come to you every 2, 4, 6, 10 years respectively, seeking or wanting you to put them into public office, will tell you that the sky is blue because they know you want to hear that the sky is blue, will tell you what they believe you want to hear just so that you can put them to public office, knowing fairly well, knowing goddamn well, that when they go to public office, they're going to be utilizing that office for their own personal gain and financial wealth, like that criminal bastard Errol G. No Good Williams, Mitch J. Landro, lackadaisical, want to be friendly to everybody, Latoya Cantrell, the members of the New Orleans City Council, that criminal bastard, named John Bell, and all of them, members of the Louisiana Supreme Court, all of them, goddamn politicians. They went and they signed this contract. Inside the contract, Article 10 of the contract, Section 30, they must, is a requirement, is a prerequisite, is one of the prerequisites that they must adhere to before commencing any duty in the office that they were elected to occupy. We have a contract. This is why we the people establish government. For all of you out there who forget, for all of you out there who forget, who tend to forget, that this is a employee-employer relationship. It's a relationship. It's a relationship. It's a contractual relationship. They work for us, not the other way around. Origin and purpose. All government. Notice it didn't say one branch or a few members or a selected few. It said all. What does the word all mean? It's a collective word. Mean everybody. Government of right originates with the people, is founded on their will, and whose will? Our will. Let the members of the New Orleans City Council tell you otherwise. Let Latoya Cantrell tell you otherwise. Let that criminal bastard Errol G. Williams tell you otherwise. Let that clown Kenny Zero tell you otherwise. Our will. We are the bosses. They came to us. We didn't come to them. And is instituted to protect the rights of the individual. Now, a lot of people tend to forget this. Man, this is so important. Look, I could use this whole 2 hours of the show and talk about this part of the contract or this one section of the contract because it is that important. It is that important. For the critics out there, for the criminal imposters that occupy public office, taking money from we the people under false pretense, under color of law, right? Like what that criminal imposter person called himself the Orleans Parish tax assessor said to me a couple of months ago. The first time I ever get a chance to meet him in years, even though I've been corresponding with him, right? And I've went to his office several times. He's so weak, timid, and scared. He couldn't come out and meet and talk to me face to face. He have his 2IC, second in command, telling me, oh, I'm not here. You're a criminal, that's why you have to hide from me when you see me, because I'm a law-abiding individual. He told me, or make reference that, yeah, Mr. Brown think that he don't have to do what everybody else does. You goddamn skippy, I don't. You goddamn right about that. When my mommy pushed, she pushed me and me alone into this world. She never pushed me, Tom, Dick, and Harry. No, when she pushed me, I'm no twin. I'm not a twin or a triplet or a... No, I came into this world by myself. When the doctor said push, she pushed. She was 15-year-old and she pushed, and when she pushed me alone. So whatever I say to you, or any so-called elected official that's in public office or occupying that public space, I'm talking to you from an individual point of view, even though what I'm saying to you will affect the masses or the collective. But go back to the contract. Go back to the contract, you dumbass son of a clown, and read. And don't only read, but comprehend. What does the contract say? Tell you or inform you. Why did we institute government? To protect the right of the individual. I am an individual. My name is Anthony Brown. When I tell you to hell with your avalarium property tax, don't tell me, oh, Mr. Brown, hell yes. I acknowledge that. Why? Because you say jump and everybody else jump. Anthony Brown supposed to jump. Let me tell you something, man. I know you got years over me. I know that you came into this world over me, or many, many years before me. But I tell you this, I'm not a buffoon. I'm not stupid. I'm not ignorant. And I refuse to operate as the collective or think like the collective. I utilize what my God give me, which is common sense, wisdom, and understanding. And I recognize my portfolio as one of the people, your boss, and there's no way in hell I'm going to let you tell me something that is detrimental to me and my family. You're crazy? Let me tell you something, man. I don't know what kind of weed you guys are smoking. You guys mean the municipal corporation of the city of New Orleans. You guys mean that criminal bastard Errol G. Williams. You guys mean the members of New Orleans City Council. You guys mean Latoya Cantrell. I don't know what the hell that. Look, if you guys want some good weed, call me. You want some good weed? Call me. Individual rights and for the good of the whole, its only legitimate ends are to secure justice for all. Its only legitimate ends are to secure justice for all. Okay? So, in conducting yourself as an elected official, adhering to my individual argument, and you abiding by the contract, hence, you will ensure justice for the collective. You understand that principle or that concept? Look, it's not my fault if you don't understand it. Your fault, dumbass bastards. Are to ensure justice for all. Preserve peace. Let me tell you something about. Look, again, I'm not going to spend this whole 2 hours because look, just on this one paragraph alone, I could complete this. Look, I could just talk about this whole, because it is that important. When you understand what happened back in the 1700s, family, when you understand, listen to me carefully, man. When you understand that a group of people came together and sit down and reason amongst themselves and say, look, what we have here right now today is not working. It's tyranny. Here it is. At that time, the people of the territory, right, had a dictator-type governance. Here it was, they had somebody taxing them, and that tax wasn't beneficial to them. Here it was, they had a governance that would deny them due process of law. Follow me, look. This is key. It's fundamental to this whole concept right here, family. So these men, they say, no, something ain't right with this picture. We got to create something, anything. We got to create a government. We got to create a body. We got to create something that will benefit us. We got to create a governmental structure that will adhere to our will, our belief, our ideals. We have to do that. Because what we have here right now is not working. And we cannot afford to continue to live under such oppressiveness. And we want peace. And because we want peace and we are not having peace at this time, right? Hence, my brothers and sisters, families and friends, enemy and critics, hence the revolutionary war between this territory or the colonies at the time and the British Empire. on, man. Somebody, look. Come on. What should we do under this organization, under this contract, under the Constitution right now? Look, there is a precedence. Anybody hearing me? Is anybody hearing me? There is a precedence. The founding father of this document, the man that wrote this document, that according to Bernard J. Johnson, all elected officials, every branch of government supposed to abide by this document. That's their words. The Constitution. Okay? This is what they're telling us. They are saying that this is the law. This is the law, and everybody's supposed to abide by the law. And if that's the case, abide by it. So, if the founding father, if the man who drafted this document at the time were being terrorized by their government or by a king to the point where they fought the Revolutionary War, they pick up arms and went and fight. Look, am I the only one seeing this? Am I the only one recognizing what's going on right here? There's a precedence. If your government, if that king or that body reign tyranny on you, there's a precedence right here. That is the reason why we have the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, my brothers and sisters. If it wasn't for the Revolutionary War, these two documents, the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, would have never existed. When they reign tyranny on us, government, when they steal our property, when they deny us due process of law, they are giving aid and comfort to the enemy. When they do that, they are reigning tyranny and we the people. Hence, no peace. What? Look, again, go back to the contract. To secure justice for all, preserve the peace. You understand what I'm saying? Preserve peace. We wanted to preserve peace. That's the reason why this document or this contract was formed. Protect rights, individual rights. We ain't talking about them blinking collective rights. Understand the concept, family. And promote the happiness and general. Again, we could take this whole show and talk about this one clause or this one section of the contract. But we're not going to do that. But we emphasize this one contract because we're going to tie it in with the topic of the day. How the hell is a company like CivicSource, this LLC, this for-profit company, is still operating here in the territory of Louisiana? We're going to get to that. But let's go and listen to these clowns a little bit more.
Gavel and says that you have clear title to this property and you never have to worry about previous owners coming back on you. That's one of the things that your company, that CivicSource, does.
Absolutely, absolutely. So really what we're doing is, as Allison mentioned, all those properties that are available for deposit, we allow investors, right? So people in the community to say, I want to see this property go to public auction. And there's a 3-month process from when you place a deposit to when we go to auction, in which CivicSource is doing all of the title work necessary, title abstract. We're actually finding everybody that's on the title to that property and giving them one final chance to come forward and pay the delinquent taxes.
And that's a significant task.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Because you're talking about heirs, and if this one has passed, then it goes to those heirs, and the longer the time goes by, the more people we're talking about,
yeah,
getting them involved. And We know that in government it's difficult to find the property owner sometimes. Yeah.
That's right. So that's what's so difficult, right? I mean, we're searching obituaries, we're using advanced technology to find all of these folks. And then when we do, Allison can tell you the percentage of the times that delinquent taxpayers actually come back and they redeem.
Is that a thing, Allison? I mean, do we, because you actually help locate owners or heirs, and have we had some successes there?
Yes.
30% of the time is when they come back and redeem.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's excellent. Okay, so we're reuniting people with their properties, and hopefully they're doing something with it to bring it back into commerce. And what it means when you talk about what does bringing a property back into commerce mean?
Really what that means is that not only are you able to buy the property, but you're not just going to park your boat on it, right, or your car on it and do nothing with it. With that title insurance policy, which is saying you are the owner and everybody in the past has been duly notified that we were taking this property to public auction, that is what allows you to go to a bank, right? The bank wants to see proof that, okay, you are the actual owner, to be able to provide financing, and so that down the line you can resell this property and actually, have it, listed on the MLS.
And also it's back on the property tax rolls. And
That's right.
Somebody is actually paying tax on this property rather than taxpayers paying through the government to maintain these properties or to...
Right. And Allison can tell you the amount that's already been redeemed, that's been returned to the tax revenue here in Ascension Parish.
I don't have that.
You don't have that number?
Okay.
Well, we can get that number, definitely.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But it is significant.
Absolutely,
is what
thousands
you're saying.
of dollars returned back. So whether that's a delinquent taxpayer coming forward and redeeming, or if not, it's going to be sold at auction. So we can talk about the auction process because that's important for folks to know exactly how to use the website.
Well, before we even get into that, let's find out who can avail themselves of this program. Are there limitations? Does it have to be a resident of the parish? Does it have to be a person as opposed to a corporation? Who can go about getting involved in this auction process?
Sure. Well, basically everybody that's not interested party to that property. So that means that the delinquent taxpayer, right, and their heirs, and let's say if Wells Fargo had a mortgage on there or something, they can't participate in the auction process, but everybody else can, right? So whether you're a parish resident or not, or maybe you're in surrounding parishes and you're looking to buy some property here in Ascension Parish, you can participate. And so the way that we do that is it only takes one person to place a deposit on a property to start all of the research process. And that deposit's $850 and it's refundable in most cases. So let's say if we find an issue along the way, we're going to call the depositor and let them know. Let's say if you go to auction and you're not the winner, you also get your money back. But if you do win, that deposit is actually credited towards your total purchase price. So
okay, so let's slow this down a little bit.
Yeah.
And people will go to the CivicSource website, CivicSource.com.
that's right.
And they can find these property. They would click on the link to Ascension Parish. It's going to bring up the properties that are at least in your database. If they find one in particular that is of interest to them, they click on this and what? Enter a credit card number?
So what you do is you can create a free.
Let me tell you guys something about this company. Now, look, I'm playing this clip, but just so you know, everything that you hear on this clip is a whole lot of BS. A whole lot of BS. They are very deceptive in their answers. The person who is doing the interview is coming from a place of ignorance or is asking general question, but merely from a place of ignorance and misguided concept. But if you listen to the representative from CivicSource, you can see the deception in her response and in her answers. This is some information straight from their platform, CivicSource. Not sure if they still have a lot of these information in the platform. for the mere fact that I've been calling out this criminal enterprise CivicSource for some time, and their affiliation with the body politic, more so the city of New Orleans, under the auspices or so-called leadership of that no good criminal, self-righteous, looking to be President 2020, Mitch J. Lange, or this present administration under the lackadaisical, nonchalant, want to be friend with everybody, Latoya Cantrell. About us. CivicSource is the leading auctioneer of tax distress real estate. From tax sale to adjudicated property auction, CivicSource digitized due process. What the hell is digitized due process? What's that? Somebody tell me. What's digitized due process? Somebody tell me. Compliance to ensure legality, valid sale. New Orleans-based CivicSource has been recognized by INC magazine's 500/5000 as one of the America's fastest growing companies, and has been recognized as one of the best places to work in New Orleans for the past 5 years. Well, this right here, I printed this account to my footnote 2017, okay? March 2017. Past receiving the designation best place to work in 2014. Since 2008, CivicSource has handled a total of $1.47 million in property sale process, more than 37,000 pieces of property sold, with more than 34,000 purchased. $400 million has been collected on behalf of clients, with over 80 taxing authority across 4 states. Now, there's 4 states here, family. We ain't cater about the other 3 territory that they're talking about. We cater about this one. This one being Louisiana. Okay? Also on their website, they break down, or they give information about the type of action that they do. The first one is tax certificate. I want somebody to tell me what a tax certificate is. What a tax certificate is. Now, this is their definition of a tax certificate. CivicSource definition of what a tax certificate is. Purchase, or let me revise that. When you go onto CivicSource.com website, right, they show you, I think actually on the first page, they show you the type of action, or the type of deed, or the type of tax sale that they do. And when you click on that like they got tax certificate, they got adjudicated property and tax deed, and they got tax lien. Okay? Now, the tax certificate, this is how they define it. Purchase tax title to property. So if you go there and you do an action under the tax certificate, they are saying is purchase tax title to property, which grants possession and ownership of property following the expiration of the redemption period, within which the owner will pay you interest and penalty. Now, let me tell you something, family, or to all listeners out there. Just by listening to this or reading this definition, you must ask yourself, or I did, whether or not you want to ask yourself that question. I asked myself this question, and I did not only ask myself the question, I posed the question to them and to many others. I posed the question to the high price attorney. Let me tell you something. CivicSource have a very big bank account. They have high price attorneys that they let loose all over this territory. I know. I met with a couple of them. I met them out there in the fields. I met them in the courtroom. I know. I'm telling you. Yeah, to the point where a couple of their high-priced attorney went in the courtroom. Oh, please, we need a restraining order against Mr. Brown because he's aggressive. He's aggressive at us out there. And we're scared our life. We're scared. Oh, we're scared. Mr. Brown is one. No, you scared of your life because I'm aggressive. Because I'm speaking the truth or I'm informing people. Why you ain't scared of your own aggressiveness when you're out here misinforming, lying and deceiving other people, what you call investors, to purchase property from your platform, property to which you have no authority to, one, have on your platform, and two, to be actioning or selling. Here it is, you informing people that if they come on your platform and they utilize your platform to purchase a piece of property, because one, you're lying to them. You're telling people that you do this in depth, tight. Look, family, friends, I can show you right now. I can call individuals, one after one after one, who lose property under the authority of CivicSource and whatever authority they claim to have, that none of this process that they claim to do or to perform, they did. We have documents here. We have documentation here. The CEO himself, Byron P. Barons, went, just like they went to this other municipal corporation, and lied to the members of the city council. Lie. And when the city members, when an elected official, and listen to what I'm saying, not a politician now, but an elected official, somebody who is actually performing the job on behalf of we the people, call out the CEO, Byron Criminal P. Barrows, and say, hold up. The statement that you make a while ago, sir, is not true, is not factual. No. You are claiming to have property, or you are claiming, this was what he said. We do not sell occupied property. This is the CEO, the Chief Executive Officer of CivicSource, telling the City Council of Bogalusa that this is his quote. This is why he's telling them, so that they could come on board and be a part of the cronyism of the criminal act. He said, and I quote, "We do not sell occupied look, what occupied property mean? Occupied property mean somebody is living inside that property. That's what occupied property mean, for those of you who can comprehend that. For those of you who sit by the wayside and think that occupied property means something else. Occupied property meaning that somebody is living is occupying that piece of property. We do not sell occupied property, and the reason, no, is given the reason. And the reason we do not sell it is because we cannot insure it. What? Hold up. Because you cannot do what? You cannot insure it. So you're going to tell me, them thousands, hundreds of thousands of property, when you rob from the people of New Orleans East, from the lower Ninth Ward, from Algiers, from Gentilly, people wasn't inside of it? People wasn't living inside of it? Hold up, family. Give me a second. Don't rush me yet. Give me a second. Watch this. We cannot insure it, he said. Then he further goes on, still quoting him, occupied property will oftentimes result in litigation. In what? Hold up. What does litigation mean? Mean a process by which you take these criminal bastards to court. Hold up. And also, we do not want to be in the business of putting the little old lady out on the street. End of quote. That was the CEO, Byron P. Burroughs of CivicSource, a member listed on the Secretary of State website, Acorn Information System, LLC. Hold up. Here goes the kicker. However, Mr. Burroughs, Byron P. Burroughs, never recognized. He think he was in New Orleans, Louisiana. He think he was in New Orleans, where we have no elected officials, just politicians. He think he was standing in the chamber of New Orleans City Council. But thank be to God, here it is. We have an elected official, someone who is acting on behalf of the people who put her into office. After this criminal with him lying self, lying tongue, and that, look, when look, these people are liars. That's all they do. That's how they make the living. By lying, CivicSource is a company full of liars and deceivers and tricksters and manipulators. Look, people, family, I give a rat's ass what nobody wants to say. I know a lot of you have a problem comprehending the truth or believing the truth. It's right here in black and white. It's public knowledge, public record. Go read it for yourself. Go call and speak to the councilwoman yourself. Here it is, we have an elected official. Somebody who believes in the rule of law, the Constitution, and is abiding by our oath of office. Councilwoman Gloria Gates, she said, in fact, hold up, Mr. CEO, hold up, Mr. CivicSource. In fact, Mr. CivicSource, Mr. Burroughs, there was a piece of occupied property listed for sale on CivicSource website. Look, I don't know her, but I love her. Look, I don't know this woman, but I love her. I do. I don't know Councilwoman Gloria Gates, but I love her. I love the fact that she listened to the bullshit, then call it out. Again, I don't know her, but I not only love her, I respect her for taking a stand. Follow me. That is the reason. Look, I just read the contract for you guys a while ago. I read the contract. I read the contract that these people signed off on. I read it. Here she's saying to this criminal that, look, hold up, criminal, hold up, liar. I know you're here because you want to make money off of the people of Bogalusa, but hold up, you're lying right now. You're not stating facts. What you just said a moment ago, is not factual. Is not factual. Now, here is the criminal response. Listen carefully, Listen carefully. But Burroughs said he would move it. What did the CEO of CivicSource tell Councilwoman Gloria Gates? I will remove it. Hence telling me that he was fully aware that he was lying to the members of the city council. He was fully aware that there is property listed on their website for auction, occupied property. That knowledge he was fully aware of. If not, why would he say, okay, I'm going to remove it? Let's move on Wednesday. So apparently this was a Tuesday. On Wednesday, he said the property was no longer that listed. That means the property was actually on the website, family. So the councilwoman was factual when she make that claim that there was a property listed on the website, an occupied property that you are about to sell or auction. What did he say? What did the CEO say? What did Mr. Byron Burroughs said? He said, I would move it. He said, I would move it. Okay? He said, I would move it. And he did not only say, I would move it, but he actually went ahead and moved it. That means it was on the website. Full circle. Full circle. Let's listen to these liars some more.
Account on our website, and that's where you enter in your banking information, which all we need to know is that you have a funding source. We're not looking in there or withdrawing from there. So you can create a free account whether you're participating in the auction or not, and that way you have access to the key features and will be able to bid on the properties on auction day. So let's say if I'm looking at a property right now and I'm interested in it, I would click to place a deposit on it. Or if you already placed a deposit on the property, all I have to do is tune into the scheduled auction day and I can bid against you.
Okay, and the properties that we're talking about, that you are working with, they've kind of already been through that first sheriff sale, because the sheriff has on his website a list of properties that are coming up for sale for tax sale, say, on a certain date.
Correct.
So that's the first shot someone has at it. They would need to go to the sheriff's sale and take care of everything. After that happens, if nobody bids on the property, that's when you take over.
Right. So we conduct those sales, those tax certificate sales, for a lot of other parishes and municipalities here in Louisiana. The bulk of those sales are June and July. And really, for anybody interested in that, since we're not doing that currently in Ascension Parish, I encourage you to sign up for one of our virtual information sessions on tax certificate sales. That way you can learn more about the process. The bulk of those sales are June and July here in Louisiana. So you're correct. These are properties, these adjudicated ones. You're actually buying full deed, right? You're buying that property at the end of the process, free and clear, and properties that failed to sell at a previous tax certificate sale.
Okay, so now let's talk about this process. So I'm on your website. I've located a property. I've established my free account. I click on it. I make my $850 deposit. Now what?
Now you're going to be receiving an email notification where we're going to start doing all our work. So Allison, our account managers, receive that. Our attorneys.
Allison, you're the person that we're going to work with, or you are our manager for Ascension Parish properties.
Yes.
So you're the person that the people are going to be So if you need to put a face to a name, here it is. This is the person that you're going to be emailing back and forth with.
Right. So I actually will see when a deposit is placed, and I basically just click a button and I push it into research, and then we begin that legal compliance work in order to bring it to sale.
Okay, what kind of compliance work? That's when you're doing the research on the...
Yes, we do. An attorney completes, we do a 30-year title abstract, and then an attorney will do an title exam. We do all of the interested party research to find all of the interested parties we're going to send notice to, and then an attorney will complete an insurability review.
So this is all happening, by the way, during the 3-month period from when an investor places a deposit and when we go to auction. And these auctions are taking place the first Wednesdays of every month. So whether you're a depositor...
Is it online?
Yeah.
Or it's an online auction. It's not on the, quote, steps of the courthouse.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
All online. And so first Wednesdays of every month, whether you're the depositor that is waiting for a property to be scheduled into auction, or whether you're just somebody that tunes in on the auction day, you can participate either way.
And so I've already paid $850, and is that applied toward the bid that I'm placing if an auction is taking place, or?
So that $850, that doesn't guarantee your first bid.
Online auction. Let's think about that for a second, family. Online auction. Now, and look, I don't want nobody shoot me any email or send me any text or send me any message and tell me about modern technology or about the times that we are living in. That's irrelevant. I don't want to hear that crap. If you're not speaking to me from the point of law or from the point of the contract, the Constitution, I really don't want to hear. Don't waste your time nor my time. Okay? Because as it is right now, more so in the territory of New Orleans, we here have a duly elected sheriff. Okay? And our sheriff here, which and I've said it on this program before, and I said I will say it now and maybe in the future. The sheriff here in the territory of New Orleans, Louisiana, is a gentleman by the name of Marlon Guzman. And it is my belief and view and opinion that he is the only elected official here in this territory. Marlon Guzman is the only elected official here. When I contacted this elected official, he outlined to me that, look, Mr. Brown, I don't do that. I don't play with them tax sales property. I don't sell. Only property that I sell or I auction is adjudicated property, and it's property, and when I do it where it's supposed to do on the steps of the courthouse. On the steps of the courthouse. Let's go to CivicSource website real quick. CivicSource term or definition for adjudicated is totally different than everybody else. When CivicSource use the term or the word adjudicated, its application and its meaning, it's totally different than the average person utilizing the common sense would interpret that term or that word to mean. Or when our elected officials, our duly elected officials, our sheriffs, again, family, look, I know for some of you it's hard to comprehend. I know for some of you it's hard to comprehend. But that is the reason why we advise and encourage you to get a copy of the contract and read it. To get a copy of the contract and read it. On CivicSource website, they define adjudicated property and tax deed, and this is what it is. Or if you purchase in that category, if you auction or you bid or purchase a piece of property under the category of adjudicated property and tax deed, this is what you'll get. Acquire full ownership to property with clear title and have the ability to place guaranteed title insurance on the property, which you may take possession of following the closing of the sale. The closing of the sale. Now, again, we the people, there's a process by which you can, well, here in the territory of Louisiana, you could go to the contract, you could go to Article 1, Clause 2, or Section 2, and it deals with due process of law. Now, due process of law, for those of you who forget or don't remember or tend to not know or understand, it's a fundamental principle on which you or they have to base or render to you. It's a fundamental principle. It's a prerequisite by which you cannot lose certain liberty, life, or property without that due process of law. Now, the difference between Amal and Gusman, the duly elected sheriff, the only elected official here in the territory of New Orleans, and this criminal enterprise CivicSource, is that when Marlon Gusman utilized the word adjudicated, it's truly adjudicated. The process by which that due process, that component of due process is done, it's coming from the courts, or it went through some legal process by which all parties relevant to that piece of property come at the table at some point in a place where you call the court, and there's a third party arbitrator who will look on the situation and render a judgment or ask the parties to go and try to see if they can rectify it. And if they can't rectify it, then it come back to the court, to the judge, maybe a single judge, or who knows, maybe you got people in the box, 12 people in the box. When CivicSource talk about adjudicated, they are talking about a piece of property, according to them, that was out there for sale, and it was not sold, so now they have the authority, or according to them, they is a piece of property that was owned by the body politic the municipal corporation, and was given to them, and according to them, that process by which they take a piece of property from another entity, meaning that that property is adjudicated. So the owner for the piece of property, even though that person never stepped foot in court one day, even though that person never get notice, even though that person due process of law has been denied, they claim, CivicSource claim, that the process has been adjudicated. Hence, giving them the authority to steal and rob and set, or to collude with this governmental entity or this body over here to action your property on the platform. The third category that they got is one titled tax lien. Tax lien. So the first one was tax certificate. The second was adjudicated property and tax deed. Now the third one is tax lien. And this is their definition for tax lien. Tax lien. Purchase taxes due on property, comma, which provides neither right nor obligation to the property, but places an interest-bearing lien that the owner must repay you within a prescribed time period. What do you call that? What's the definition for that? What's the legal definition for that? Let me read it one more time for those of you who didn't catch it. Or let me paint a picture. Let me give you a scenario. Let's say you own a car. Look, we ain't gonna put in a title to it. Let's say you own property. The property, whatever the property is, it's your property. You own it. Let's say you have property and you own property. You have title to property. You have claims to property. And one of these criminals from CivicSource or anybody came to you and said, look, somebody came and steal your property. And they're going to say to you that whether or not your property passed through a third party or went through the hands of someone else. So the person who stole your property from you, whether or not that person sell or give that property to somebody else. So either the first party or the third party after theft come to you and say, look, we have your property. And look, we are willing to give it back to you, but before we give it back to you, you're going to have to give us X amount of dollars. You follow me? We will give back your property to you. Look. You know, we're nice people. We give it back to you, but before we give it back to you, you have to give us X amount of dollars. What's that? Here in the territory of New Orleans, Louisiana, when you look up the statute or the criminal code under Title 14, that defines extortion. That's extortion. That's extortion. So I have to pay you for you to give me back what is rightfully mine. And that's what CivicSource, Acorn Information System LLC, operating that online platform as CivicSource.com. That's what their tax lien is. Blinking extortion. Let's go back and listen to these criminals some more.
You actually have to sign into your account day of the auction and place the first bid.
Exactly. Okay, so you sign in, you must bid. It's not just the fact that you have the deposit there.
Correct.
So theoretically, if one person puts an $850 deposit on a piece of property, when it comes up for auction, if that's the only person who's done it, but he does not sign in to proceed with the auction.
Right. So that's a really good question, a commonly asked question. So in the event that you're the depositor and you and nobody else bids at auction, that way you will not receive your deposit back. So that's why it's really important that you sign into your account on auction day and you place at least one deposit on the minimum starting bid price. And
there's a minimum.
There is.
There's a minimum price. How?
Full disclosure. Full disclosure. This young lady that you guys are listening to, this representative of CivicSource, I encounter this young lady in the past, when I was out there exposing them for their criminal conduct and their lies and their deception. One of the places that I remember encountering this young lady was in La Plaza, Louisiana. And at this point, they were fully aware of Anthony Brown and the action that I've been taking and what I've been doing. They go around and they go to these public libraries and they host these so-called information session. I would call it deception sessions. And they got a whiff that I was on my way or that I was coming. I didn't went by myself. They refused from conducting or they postponed the meeting. That wasn't the only place that I saw this young lady. As a matter of fact, the both of them that's there, that's doing this interview at Ascension Parish. But I listened to the full presentation and I know that every time that this young lady opened her mouth, she's lying. She's lying. Because I call her out and her associates out. And what they try to do every time I encounter them is to utilize whatever so-called law enforcement or policy enforcement officers that's there to get rid of me, which they try but did not succeed because, again, they go and they hold these so-called information session in public places. Nobody can stop me from going into a public library. You're crazy? Who the hell you think you are to stop me from going to a public library because you don't like my feedback or what I'm going to say? Did you build a goddamn library? Huh? Huh? When you're hosting a public meeting in a public place with taxpayers' money, you can't stop me. And no law enforcement officer can stop me. Not if I'm not causing harm to nobody, which I outline that every single time. So let's go ahead and listen to this lying CivicSource representative some more.
How is that established?
So the minimum starting bid price, it's not based upon the appraisal value on the MLS or in the actual market. It's not based upon delinquent taxes due. Rather, just the cost, the legal costs associated with taking this to sale. So all of CivicSource's costs, closing costs, are already going to be included in there.
As well as title insurance.
That's right.
That was also going to be a question, because you mentioned before, and the title insurance does come, and that is just built into the cost, and that helps to determine that minimum opening bid.
Right. And most of the properties are going to be at around $5,500 or so. So that's really how this is, affording the opportunity not only to developers and contractors, but maybe folks that for the first time, are buying properties, are thinking about rental income and putting their money to work. And I know that earlier you asked, how is it that folks can even take property, right? In a trust and an LLC, we're willing to work with folks in, a number of different ways, whether they're buying with a self-directed IRA to purchase these properties, or they want to put it in a trust, an LLC, or buy.
Yes, because you guys are operating a criminal enterprise. Come on. We know that. We know you're operating a criminal enterprise. That's why you're willing to work with anybody, don't care how they come at you. You're a criminal. Keep on talking.
Themselves, we're willing to work with all of them and make whatever preferences and that you have available.
Do you recommend that bidders use an attorney or some sort of legal advice to have that with them, or do you hold their hand through the process? I mean, Allison, you're the person who helps them. Do you walk them through there, or should I bring my own realtor or closing attorney with me?
We do have a closing department that will reach out after the sale is done, and they draft up all of the closing documents. We coordinate with the parish and the purchaser to get all those documents signed and recorded.
Allison, accounting manager. Man, family, let me read something else here. This is also a document from CivicSource website. Efficiency and cost effective. Listen to this now. Listen to this, family. Again, for those of you who miss it, I read from the contract. I read from the contract. The purpose and origin of government. Okay? Listen to this. With budget, and remember who we're talking about here. We're talking about CivicSource.com, Acorn Information System LLC, operating in the territory of New Orleans, Louisiana, as CivicSource.com, an online platform by which they utilize to auction or to steal or to rob or to sell people property. Listen to this. With budget reductions and declining tax revenue. Now, again, this is I cannot overemphasize this enough before I read this paragraph. This is a LLC, a limited liability corporation, doing business for profit, getting their authorization to work from the Secretary of State. It doesn't matter which territory. In this case, it's from Delaware. So they have an article of corporation. Listen to this carefully. Listen to this LLC. Not a governmental entity, no. This is a LLC. Listen to them. With budget reduction and declining tax revenue, taxing authority across the country are facing the incredible complex task of finding ways to collect more taxes without spending additional budget revenue. Acorn CivicSource platform, which includes CivicSource Actioner, is funded solely through a small collection fee passed on to the delinquent taxpayers. Did you guys catch that? Here it is, you have a LLC so concerned about what government does and the governmental function of government. So concerned about what that body, that governmental body does, to the point where they would like us to believe that they go there because, oh, they are so concerned about government. Oh, wow, government is not generating enough revenue. Oh, that is so bad. Oh, wow. We need to do something to assist government. What can we do? What can we do? So here we have now, because they're so concerned, right? Because they are so concerned that government is struggling. It's so hard. Oh my God, it's so hard on government. They are struggling to generate revenue. They can hardly make it. We need to do something. We need to take some action. So here we have these guys come together. Here we have these guys come together. Byron Barone, Byron Danos, Cushman, and all these guys come together and form Acorn Information System, right? Because they want to assist government. They want to assist government because government is finding it difficult and it is so complex. I love this crap. It is so complex that government cannot deal with it. And that's why they are losing revenue. Oh my God. Isn't that sad? It is so sad. With budget reduction, they're losing money. Declining tax revenue. Oh my God. The taxing authority need help. We got to help them. So here is Byron P. Burroughs, Byron Danos, and Cushman and all of them formed this company with the purpose of helping government. Isn't that sweet? Oh, that's so sweet, and that's beautiful, huh? Isn't that beautiful? Here it is a LLC. How the hell did they get? Man, this is crazy, man. Huh? CivicSource, a LLC. They are so concerned. Oh my God, it's a crying shame. We can't afford this to happen. No, let's do something about it. Government is losing money. They're not. Their revenue stream is declining. Oh my God, we have to do something. It's a complex task for them to generate revenue, and without us, we are so smart. It's only we can do this for them. Here comes CivicSource.com. Let's listen to some more of these line people.
Recorded. You do always have the option to get your own attorney. That's no problem at all. But we do provide the closing services.
But it's not really necessary.
Right. Yeah, it's not, but I always encourage folks, the best thing that you can do always, if you have any questions, I mean, we are here to assist you in our investor management team, and we have a full service call center that you can.
You notice the hesitation, and you notice how the accountant keep our mouth quiet, and then this little fly by night, this spokesperson or representative, she just jump in. Well, it's not really necessary, but we recommend. Huh?
You can call Monday through Friday, and we're late into auction days. You can give us a call, and we'll definitely, walk you through the process of how this all works. And that's why we do information sessions that are free and open to the public, in which we explain this. It's myself and one of our title agents and attorneys walking you through the process and really showing you how to use the website, right? So that's really important. Is if you've never participated in one of these sales online before, we want you to know and be fully equipped with all the tools.
You are listening to The Proven Truth. You are listening to The Proven Truth with your brother and host, Anthony Brown. Coming to you live from the studios of Radio Gumbo Creole here in the beautiful territory of New Orleans, Louisiana. It's a beautiful Saturday evening, somewhat cloudy, somewhat on the cool side too. To participate in the show if you choose to exercise your God-given right, you can call us here at 504-303-8922. Again, that number is 504-303-8922. You can also listen to us by dialing from your device 712-432-7883. Again, you can listen to us by dialing the number 712-432-7883. You can also listen to us via the web by going to www.radiogumbocreole.net. That's www.radiogumbocreole.net. We live stream this and every show on the Facebook. You can check us out on the Facebook by going to Anthony Brown for Assessor 2017. Again, that's Anthony Brown for Assessor, ASSESSOR 2017, where you can leave a comment, pose a question, come on as a live guest. Utilize this platform in any way you choose to, okay? Utilize this platform however you choose to. The title of this show today, we are speaking about a company by the name of Acorn Information System LLC, doing business as CivicSource.com. Again, Acorn Information System LLC, doing business as CivicSource.com, here in the territory of New Orleans, Louisiana, and many other territories or parishes in the territory of Louisiana. Now, we are just outlining to you the folly, we are just outlining to you the lies, the deception, the theft that people here in this territory are subjected to because of this LLC, because of CivicSource and its members. Now, we're going to play for you, we're going to continue to play, and you're going to listen to these, to representative from CivicSource, speak on the action that they take in robbing your property from you. We're going to do that for 5 more minutes. Then we're going to go into, for the last 30 minutes of the show, we're going to show you, or we're going to go into how it is that this LLC, CivicSource.com, can be doing what they're doing. Okay?
You'll need to be able to participate on auction day, how to search for the properties, and it can get really fun, I'll tell you, if you're participating for the first time online, whether from your home or place of business. You can pop some popcorn in and watch the auction all day.
Okay, so CivicSource.com is the website. Do you have a telephone number? We're going to put the graphics up on the television, but do you have that information with you? Or?
Yeah, you can actually call 830-AUCTION. So that's going to reach one of the members of our investor management team, myself, or one of my coworkers, and we'll be able to get you all the information that you need.
Okay.
Yeah.
This sounds like a great deal.
Great.
It's going to be, it's an opportunity for someone who has been looking to purchase some property who can possibly get it at a lesser, so somebody who before maybe thought they couldn't afford property now can afford property, or somebody who makes it a living or a habit or makes a profit at buying distressed properties and fixing them up and turning them around. It can only help make Ascension Parish a little bit better.
Yeah, and there's something for everybody out there. I mean, we have vacant property out there, a lot of vacant land, but there's also commercial and residential. For those folks that maybe live right next door to an adjudicated property, there's something called the Adjoining Landowner Program, which is really important. We've already had how many properties, Allison?
10 deposits from adjoining landowners.
Yeah, so what that means is that Louisiana law allows you, if you've been maintaining the property for at least a year, sign an affidavit saying that you've been doing so, and you can purchase that property without it going to public auction. We'll put it through the same legal ringer that we do. That's definitely a way that folks are being able to secure some property. And we're doing something called property bundling. So for those folks that want to take multiple properties to auction as one, really we're doing that here as well, and we can get you some more information.
That's a great program. Yeah, we'll put all of that up, and all that's available on the website.
I know that's a lot, but
I hate to put you on the spot, but is there a typical what kind of properties are we looking at? What's out there? What's the typical adjudicated property or tax sale property? Is it a house? Is it vacant land? Is it acreage?
I would say most of them are vacant lots.
Mm-hmm. But we've also seen even like storage units, commercial storage units out there go. I mean, condos. The other day there was a condo on St. Charles, believe it or not, that was adjudicated since 1989. So that's also very fun, by the way, is that every single property has a property details page on our website, which will show you cost by cost breakdown of how we arrive at that cost. And all of the legal documents, all of the legal work that we were just mentioning, that is going to be detailed where folks can download it and really be a part of the research process as we're doing it.
So there's no appraisal or anything like that.
No.
That is strictly on the buyer.
Right. Yeah. So that minimum.
You have no appraised value.
Yeah, exactly. That's what that minimum starting bid price is, just our legal costs. And it's important for folks to know too that any overbid that goes over that. So let's say if a property starts at $5,500 and sells for $50,000, that overage goes directly back to Ascension Parish government. We're not staying with that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really.
Okay, family, that's a lot of airtime I give these criminals right here and this criminal enterprise CivicSource. But look, it wouldn't be fair. It wouldn't be fair of me. It wouldn't be fair if I didn't outline to you how is it possible for this criminal enterprise or for civics? Now look, family, understand this carefully. I don't want anybody to misconstrue what I'm saying here. Nothing wrong with a group of people coming together and forming an LLC to conduct business. So CivicSource being an LLC, there's no problem with that. Or doing business under the LLC, there's no business. There's no problem. And if there was a problem with that, I wouldn't be the one to be talking on that issue. Because I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a business owner myself. And I operate or I conduct business under LLC. So the issue here is not the fact that CivicSource is a LLC conducting or operating for profit. The issue here is that they're a LLC doing business for profit in the private sector, not as a governmental entity. Let me say that one more time. The issue here, the problem here, is that we have a LLC, a limited liability corporation, doing business for profit under the authority are claiming to operate under the authority of the Constitution. Let me say it one more time. The issue that faces us is that we have a company, Acorn Information System LLC, operating, doing business as CivicSource.com, a LLC for profit, and conducting themselves under the authority of Article 7 of the Louisiana Constitution, which they have no authority to do. Again, CivicSource is a limited liability. Look, I may sound redundant, I know, but it's a key component, or that's what I'm basing my argument on. CivicSource should operate. CivicSource was formed, created, and given the authority to operate underneath what is known as articles of corporation. Articles of incorporation. They get the authority to operate from the Secretary of State. Neither CivicSource as an entity nor none of its members are either a government body or elected officials. CivicSource does not form or is not a part or a branch or a division or a wing or a subdivision or of government. Nothing. CivicSource is to government as the East is from the West. CivicSource is to government as black is from white. CivicSource is to government as man is from, well, no, I ain't gonna say man from woman, but you get my drift. CivicSource have no authority, family, friends, and enemies, to be operating or to do anything. That's the reason why I read this to you a short while ago. I was explaining to you a while ago the fact that here CivicSource and the website so concerned about the budget reduction and declining tax revenue, and that the fact that the taxing authority, according to them, across the country are facing incredible complex taxing situation. It is not, that's not their concern. It's outside of their jurisdiction, outside of their portfolio. CivicSource is not, have not, was never, and could never be a part of government. They don't have the authority. Let me see if I can make this more simpler, man, because I'm not sure if you guys are understanding, are following me. Check this out. For you parents out there, just imagine somebody come to your son or your daughter and say, look, you can go to the movies, or you can go to a party, or you can go to the circus, or you can go buy a car, you can do, you get my drift? Somebody, no relation to you, nor your offspring, none, neither through bloodline nor through association, go to your offspring, your son or your daughter, and say, look, go do this. Now, that person may or may not be in terms of age a senior to your offspring, but your offspring take that advice and do it. You didn't authorize that person to go and talk to your son or your daughter, or give your son and daughter authority to go and do something. Or how the hell that person feel that they have the authority to come and tell your son or daughter to go and do something? Who the hell do you think they are? That is the point we are making here. CivicSource don't have the authority to do what they are, and they could have never have the authority. We, the people, never give them the authority. And when they try to get it, we tell them no. We tell them what? No. But again, here it is, as they outlined to us that they are, a matter of fact, CivicSource is located and headquartered at 935 Gravier Street, New Orleans, Louisiana, and the 14th, either the 14th or the 17th floor. I just got up, but 935 Gravier Street, that's where they locate, that's where the office is at. Now, I've said all of that, or I've been speaking now for the past 45 minutes, hour and 45 minutes, or 35 minutes, and telling you how CivicSource is operating without any legal authority. And they are. But understand the concept. They could not be operating here in the territory of New Orleans, in the territory of Louisiana, if it wasn't for politicians. And all of you out there who know who politicians is, when we use the word politician, we're talking about. If it wasn't for corrupted elected official, they couldn't be operating here. In the case of New Orleans, Louisiana, we had, for the past 8 years, a criminal, no good imposter, a criminal, self-righteous, self-seeking guy by the name of Mitch J. Landro. Mitch J. Landro, from the Landro dynasty. His father, Moon Landro, was once the mayor / CEO of New Orleans. That bloodline right there, that dynasty. His sister, Mary, was once a United States Senator representative. Man, look, that's a whole total different show. I won't even go in the depth of the Landry and show you the criminal activity, or how they have the hands or the claws over the political activity of this territory. That's a whole different show. We won't go into that right now. We're sticking onto CivicSource. But again, this is just part of our one member of that dynasty, the Landro dynasty. Here we have Mitch No Good Landro, self-acclaimed monument mover. Oh, he was so disgusted, and he was so distraught and disturbed, and seeing all these monuments of white supremacy all over New Orleans, and it hurt him so much. Mitch was so touched. Mitch was so touched to see all these monuments that represent white supremacy all over New Orleans. And young girls, young black girls, was walking home from school and had to see those monuments of Robert E. Lee and all, and he was so it touched him to the core. He had also to take action. Oh my God, he couldn't stand for it no more. So here's this criminal. Look, I tell everybody that not because he's not, as we speak, sharing a bunk or a cell with Ray Nagin, don't think he's out of the woods. And I have informed Mr. Ray Nagin, and for those of you who don't know Ray Nagin, who Ray Nagin is, Ray Nagin was the mayor that was here during Katrina, is the mayor that Mitch Landrieu succeeded, or take over from, or replace. Right? And he's in federal prison right now serving time. Again, look, this is New Orleans. You know what I mean? It's New Orleans. Politicians. You know, they go, you know, in and out of prison, you know, again. CivicSource, I have in my hands right here a document. It's worthless, to be honest with you, but it's still a document. Let me read the title for you. Professional Service Agreement. So this is a professional service agreement. This is an agreement between two corporations. We have two corporations here. The first corporation is Acorn Information System / CivicSource LLC, Limited Liability Corporation. And the second corporation is the City of New Orleans, LLC, a municipal corporation. Okay? So, between the City of New Orleans and Acorn Information System, LLC, an agreement between them. This agreement, in bracket, the agreement, is made and entered into this 12th day of May 2000, in the year 2014, effective date in bracket, by and between the City of New Orleans, represented by hey, this is Mitchell. His name is Mitchell. I guess it's a unison. Mitchell. You call him Mitch. I guess you don't know why they call him Mitchell, huh? Hey, Mitchell, what's up, you criminal bastard? Mitchell J. Landrieu, Mayor, in bracket City, and Acorn Information System, LLC, herein represented by its Chief Executive Officer, big title, huh? And duly authorized agent, oh man, the guy has some big title, Byron P. Burroughs, in bracket contractor, who hereby agrees as follows. So, there you have it. How is it that CivicSource is still operating here in the territory of New Orleans, you ask? Because friends and family, loved ones, enemies, and critics, there is an agreement entered into between Mitchell Mitch J. Landrieu and Byron Burroughs, an agreement. And here is what are the first clause of the agreement. Whereas the city desire to obtain certain professional avalarum tax sale. Now, look, I ain't going no further than that crap. I ain't going, look, look, again, I just read it just so you guys know that this piece of crap is out there. I'm going no further. Look, I won't even waste my time, my brain cell, my strength, and my energy to go no further. I'm stopping right there. I'm stopping right there. Because for those of you who don't know, for an agreement or a contract to be valid, there must be competent parties. There must be competent parties. So, what does that mean? I cannot go enter into an agreement with a minor or an underage person to sell alcohol or to build my house or to, you know, I can't do that. I can't enter into a contract with a doctor, with somebody who have a doctorate or with somebody who practice medicine to represent me in court. That's not two competent party. I need legal representative. I cannot go to a goddamn doctor. You know, if I need, you get my drift. Here it is. This agreement don't word or valid the goddamn paper and that's what I'm trying to say to you. I read the very first sentence and I recognize it off the bat that this is crap. How the hell can Mitch Landro, how can Mitch J. Landro, acting in his official capacity as the CEO for the corporation City of New Orleans / mayor, in his official capacity as the mayor representing a governmental body or a governmental entity, how can he enter into a contract with Byron P. Burroughs, Byron operating in his official capacity, it's right here, as the Chief Executive Officer of Acorn Information System? How can Mitch give or enter into a contract with Byron to conduct business under the avalarium tax of the family? Hold on, man, because I know a lot of you guys out there is hip to game, right? I know a lot of you guys out there peep game and recognize what's going on because you heard me for some time. Let's go back to the contract for the last 10 minutes that we have. Let's go back to the contract. Let's go to title or article 7 of the contract. Let's go to article 7 of the contract. And we're going to read real quick section 1 and I think 18, but let's read section 1 real quick of the contract. Reading from article 7. Section 1. Power to tax. Public purpose. A. Except as otherwise provided by this Constitution, the power of taxation shall be vested. The word vested means to have power, to control, to dominate, to rule over, to, you get my drift? In the legislature. The legislative means that branch of government. Come on. Shall never be surrendered, comma, suspended, comma, or contracted away. Oh, I love this crap. And shall never be exercised for public, and shall be exercised for public purpose only. Now look, that's saying a mouthful, but that's not the kicker. Let's go deeper into this contract. I love this contract, man. I don't know you guys don't. You guys need to look. You guys need to get a copy of this contract for yourself. I'm telling you. Yeah? You guys need to get a copy of this contract. Okay. Okay. What did Mitch? Let's go to this worthless piece of paper. What Mitch Landry did. Okay. This worthless from a family on YouTube and Facebook. Check it out. You can see it for yourself. Maybe you're going to need to zoom in sometime or just zoom into it. But that's a document. 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, 4 second, 5. That's enough time. Okay. For my listening audience, I just post on my Facebook page a copy of this worthless piece of paper. Mitch Landry calling an agreement between the City of New Orleans and Acorn Information System, his criminal associate friend Byron P. Burroughs. Okay. Now, follow me carefully. So I have this worthless piece of paper in my hands, and I have the contract. The contract. What's the contract? The Constitution for the territory of Louisiana. And I'm coming to you from Article 7, Section 18. Okay, Part 2. And this is what it says. Part 2 deals with property taxation. This is what Section 18 deals with. Ad valorem taxes. Section 18 deals with what? Ad valorem taxes. What it is that this no good, self-righteous, wife cheater, man, look, guy Mitch Landry tried to delegate or to give away or to have CivicSource do. Let me say it again. Let me read it again. Who hereby agrees as follows. Whereas the city desire to obtain certain professional ad valorem tax sale and what type of tax sale? Ad valorem tax sale. Stop the press. Stop the press. Let's go to the contract. The real contract. The one that's in full force and effect right now. The Louisiana Constitution from a friend's family and the YouTube and the Facebook. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. That's the contract. This is really, this is what Mitch Landry tried to delegate to CivicSource. Now, Section 18 deals with ad valorem taxes. Section 18A, assessment. Property subjected to ad valorem taxation shall be listed on the assessment tax roll at its assessment value. Now, we don't have much time, but it keep on going down and down and down. Okay, but I just want to bring it to your attention. I want you to see that Section 18 of the Louisiana Constitution, Article 7 deals with ad valorem tax. And the Constitution, this document, was instituted or drafted for government, not LLC. Real quick, let's skip ahead to this same document, this same contract, this same title, but let's go to Section 25 of the contract, the good contract, not that fake cast, no good, worthless piece of paper that Mitch drafted up between himself and his friend. His same friend who bribe him, who give him money. His same friend who give him $10,000 to put in his pocket. His same friend who, man, look. Let's go to Section 25 of this contract. Section 25 deals with tax sale. Tax what? Tax, S-A-L-E-S, sales. There shall be no forfeiture of property for non-payment of taxes. Period. Period. Full stop. Go no further. Hold on there. Hold on there, critics. Hold on there, you smart members of the Bar Association who try to make it seem like Anthony Brown is full of crap or don't have no sense. Look, to the members of the Louisiana Bar Association, to the high-price attorneys that make a living from CivicSource.com, I understand. You have to maintain a living and take care of. Look, I ain't knocking you for make a living. But what I'm saying to you, if that's all you guys have to make a living, man, look, it's sad. Listen to this. I know the Constitution, you guys don't pay it much attention. It don't mean jack to you guys. But listen. There shall be no what does the word forfeiture mean? Mean to be taken away, to lost, to lose of property from non-payment of taxes. What have CivicSource been doing since 2008? Stealing, taking out people's property. Let's go further. Let's read it. I'm gonna read. Let's read the whole thing. No. Okay. Stop at that one sentence. Let's go down to the bottom because we don't have much time. On the day of sale, on the day of what? Listen carefully in the family. Because for all of you people out there who just suck up, who swallow everything that these criminals tell you and believe it. Listen to your brother. If you listen to them and believe them, you can listen to me. Listen to this. On the day of sale, the collector shall sell. Oh! The collector. Is CivicSource a collector of tax? Or when the Constitution mentioned about the collector, is it mentioning any LLC? Dumbass bastards. On the day of sale, the collector shall sell the portion of property which the debtor points out. Look, family, look. Let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something. Common sense and critical thinking. That's what we're lacking. Common sense and critical thinking. We are dealing with not a governmental entity as we know it. We are dealing with organized crimes. We are dealing with criminals calling themselves elected officials. They're criminals, all of them. Call the name and I tell you, yes, criminal. Starting from this criminal, Errol G. Williams, talking about since 1985, when I first was elected as assessor, I knew this was the only elective office I ever wanted to hold. Thank you for allowing me to continue to serve you. You're a criminal, man. Brothers and sisters, I appreciate you taking the time to listen to me today. I appreciate you taking the time to participate. Again, you can join us here every Monday, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Today is Saturday, so you can join us here Monday, same place, same time, where we will continue to dive into this mockery, into this sham of an agreement between the city of New Orleans, now under the auspices or leadership, if you can call it leadership, of Latoya Cantrell. This is your brother saying to you, have a good weekend. Until Monday, much love. Peace.